Welcome, everyone, to Cat Plays The Binding of Isaac Repentance, Episode 2. We are going to hop right back into it. Last time I played as Isaac, I unlocked Azazel, and I unlocked Lazarus. And you know what? We're gonna go ahead, we're going to hop into the Azazel run. I have a lot to say about Azazel, so let's just get right into it. This time I'm going to try to talk a little bit more about the run and what's happening in the run and things that are relevant instead of just my technical issues. And yeah, so starting out, I said I had a lot to say about Azazel, which I do. I don't want this to seem like a complaint, even though it kind of is. I don't want to seem bitter about it, even though I'm about to complain. I don't like that people always say Azazel is, like, too easy. I kind of resent that stigma, and here's why. Because there are, like, on paper, I get it, Azazel's pretty OP. But in practice, I think, you know, people just kind of assume, what the fuck is this? I have no idea what some of these items are. Bait and... Oh, okay, well, I don't think I'm ever gonna use that. I think people like to say that Azazel is really easy, without kind of considering the long-term ramifications. I think he's much easier on the early floors, but I don't think he scales necessarily as well as some of the other characters. And the reason why I say this, I mean, there are a lot of reasons why I think this, but one of the big things is that this Brimstone has a pretty short range. And when you start with Brimstone for free, and the whole thing is like, oh, but, you know, look what a short range it is, it sounds kind of like a cop-out. But again, like, it doesn't scale, though, because very often, if you're making a lot of deals with the devil, as another character, you're going to have a full-range Brimstone, by the end of the run, you know? And that's, you know, and there are a lot of other little things like that. Like, most of the stuff that you get as Azazel are things that, by the end of the game, you were probably going to have anyway. Like, I very often have flight by the end of a game. I try to always have flight by the end of a game. I just got luck and range down. Yeah, but it's like, it's little stuff like this, you know, the short Brimstone, and I think where the main advantage is as playing as Azazel. The other thing about this, and this probably isn't an issue for everyone, but it's an issue for me because I struggle with this type of game. Like, Binding of Isaac, I love it so much, but any modicum of skill I have has been attained through just sheer force of will, because this is exactly the kind of game that I'm awful at, and as someone that, like, needs a lot of practice to stay even moderately okay at the Binding of Isaac, it's kind of hard switching up playstyles for this. Like, I'm not a person who actually likes Brimstone that much as an item, just because it does kind of change my approach to the game. I feel like I need to practice with Brimstone, and if you're not getting it every round, you know, you don't always have that practice, you don't always have that proficiency with it. So playing as Azazel, if I haven't done an Azazel run for a while, like, I feel like it's statistically going to go a little bit more poorly than, say, like, an Isaac run, or, you know, just because it is a different kind of skill set. And that's how I feel, obviously, in this context, I'm talking about Azazel, but that's how I feel about a lot of items, actually. Brimstone being one of them, where it's like, you know, it's a very good item to have, very powerful, but it does change the playstyle, and I don't always feel like I utilize it the best. It's definitely how I feel about all charged shot items, Brimstone being the obvious one, but things like Chocolate Milk, things like Cursed Eye, if I used it, which I don't. But yeah, and some of them, some of these items are a little bit, I don't want to say more chaotic necessarily, but they're more fun. Like, it's a more whimsical type of challenge, if that makes any kind of sense. What I'm getting at is that I will pick up Ipecac every time I see it, even if I know for a fact it will ruin the run that I'm in, because I don't get to see it often enough. Mom's Knife I won't pick up every time without fail, even though a lot of people tell me that I should, because again, I feel like it changes the playstyle, but if it's not going to instantly ruin my run, I am probably going to pick up Mom's Knife, just because it's kind of a fun, different way to play. And Dr. Fetus is the other one. I know a lot of people feel like Dr. Fetus has been nerfed to the point where it's like a bad item now. I still think it's a ton of fun. I still like playing, you know. I still like having bomb tiers, even though it's objectively worse in a lot of situations now. One of my most ridiculous runs recently was actually a Dr. Fetus Samson IV bag run, and with, I think I had Gimpy and Fanny Pack. The whole thing was just like, I could deal damage to myself whenever I wanted, and it not only gave me a damage upgrade, but it had the potential to heal me. The whole thing was stupid. And that run was actually one of the reasons I wanted to start Let's Playing, because I have a lot of stupid synergies like this going on all the time. But yeah, so anyway, my point is that Azazel is good. I'm not going to make the argument that Azazel is harder than any of the other characters, because I would lose that argument and get bullied off of the internet for saying that kind of a thing in the beginning of an Isaac series. You know, I'm like a big nobody, what the fuck do I know? But I will say, I think people sometimes overestimate, like, how powerful Azazel is, just, like, right off the bat. A fool. Yeah, I'm down below 3 hearts, so I did make the decision to go ahead and use the Fool card. I know that there are maybe smarter ways to utilize it, but this is kind of where I'm at with it right now. But yeah, and all of this, pretty much a long way of saying, you know, that give people that like Azazel a break. And obviously I don't need to, like, point out, is Dingle broken? I broke Dingle. No, he just froze there for, like, a really long time. No, obviously I don't have to point out, like, all the reasons why Azazel is good, but there are just a couple that I want to point out, because it's not even necessarily about the advantages, like, the obvious things. If you're good at playing with Brimstone, if you're even just, like, a proficient Binding of Isaac player that has Brimstone, obviously I feel like you're going to know, you know, what the advantages are. The flight is really good, you know, I even like the Revenge Heart system quite a bit. You have a higher chance at deals with the devil. There are a ton of advantages, and I'm not gonna undermine them or pretend that they're not there. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why I like playing as Azazel is because one of the most frustrating things in Binding of Isaac for me is, like, first floor chests that could make or break your run that you can't get into because they're behind rocks or keys, or you don't have consumables, and having a character that can fly first thing in the game takes a lot of that frustration out of the early floors. And again, like I was saying about the scaling, it doesn't necessarily matter all the time, because, like, by the end of the game you're usually so set on consumables that, you know, those little things don't make a huge difference by the end. But in the early game, it makes it a lot less frustrating and a lot more palatable for me. I'm gonna go ahead and use the Stars card. Why not? I've been trying to use tarot cards a little bit. I just went on a huge Azazel rant, and I'm immediately cutting to something else. But, because I got a tarot card that I immediately used in a less than 100% efficient way. I have been trying to use tarot cards more often, because sometimes I will just hoard them forever And then... Thank you for not letting me blow that up that time. Sometimes I'll just hoard them for a really long time, and then, you know, it gets to the point where I end up not using any of them. I end up putting down a tarot card that I've saved from the first floor to pick up, like, a sun card that I never get an opportunity to use in the final battle, you know, and I'm tired of doing stuff like that, so I'm trying to use the cards a little bit more like I use the pills, erratically, but, you know, I'm taking chances. So that's what that whole stars situation was about. I know there are more effective ways and times to use a star card. The butterbean has appeared in the basement. I know that all of that stuff that I said about Azazel and taking some of the frustration out of the game in the early levels, making me not want to rage quit as much. Because there are levels like that, you know, where I'm having a really bad run and there are like 6 chests and I can't reach any of them because of consumable issues, and, you know, I scrimp and save and do my absolute darndest and I only get into one of the chests, and it's the one that has like a trinket that I hate. It's got ringworm in it, like, you know, all of that aside, I did get very frustrated getting bait and switch as Azazel because it's one of those items. This is actually my first time ever having bait and switch in Binding of Isaac Repentance. There have been so many runs where this could have been useful. I was really surprised to find out that this was even an item, and it's not super helpful when you're playing as Azazel, because it can go... You can kind of navigate it over to areas that you couldn't normally reach and then switch with it, but when you can reach all the areas, you know, it's obviously a really poor time to finally get to experiment with this card. Okay, so that's definitely something to consider depending on how I'm doing on health. I did not do great on the first boss battle. Woo! And another thing about Brimstone is it's kind of hard to see when stuff is coming at you. So, this is, when I said I could have found a more efficient use of the Stars card, I could have used it to teleport out of the Curse Room, which is what I should have and did not do. But, it's okay, everything's okay. And we're gonna go do the boss fight, and then I'm thinking I might end up coming back, to do that mob trap room. I only have 5 keys, but that seems like plenty enough keys. I talked a little bit about my consumable hoarding in regards to tarot cards. I also do this with keys. There's kind of a point late game where it's not necessarily worth it to open every chest that you find. Did I just get a deal with an angel as Azazel? Holy fuck, guys. I got Sacred Heart. How does Sacred Heart even work with Brimstone? We're about to find out. Not well. I imagine it's one of those items that works really well with real Brimstone and really shitty with Azazel Brimstone, which, again, it's one of the reasons why I'm saying, like, an Azazel run isn't instantly a one run. You know what I mean? Like, there are drawbacks. Anyway, sorry, but consumables. There's kind of a point with consumables in this game, where it's not worth it to open every single chest that you find, so you kind of want to use up keys before that point, but there's also a point in the early game if you're having trouble finding consumables, which very seldom happens with an Azazel run, but if you're having problems finding consumables, or you're afraid that you might have those kinds of issues where it's kind of worth it to save up, and, you know, 5 keys might not be a whole lot for some runs, whereas I think on this one we're gonna be okay. Pretty much unless there's a really dire situation, my assumption is if I'm playing as Azazel, in regards to consumables, I'm gonna be okay, even though I know I'm not gonna scale well. I can't believe, so... And again, I may say that my impulse to rage quit is lower as Azazel, but I might be a little bit full of it. I'm getting a little bit frustrated with these items because they're so good They're so good and or so interesting, but I can't really utilize them with what's going on right now. And Sacred Heart is another one of those. I can't believe the first time I'm getting Sacred Heart on the run, it's as Azazel, where you get like these beautiful honing shots, these beautiful like large tiers that hone and deal a fuck ton of damage, and it's like one of the best items, one of the best damage upgrades in the entire game. I love having Sacred Heart. I just like absolutely adore Sacred Heart runs, and here I am, and it really doesn't make much of an impact at all. Like, you can see the aesthetics of my Brimstone have changed, and I think maybe it even increased my range a little bit. Maybe don't quote me on that, but I feel like maybe it is. But you're not getting like the full effect of Sacred Heart. This doesn't feel like a Sacred Heart run because I'm still using shitty mini Brimstone. And like with Azazel's scaling, there are a lot of things that work with Brimstone that don't work with Azazel's like miniature Brimstone. They don't synergize the same way. And this is all, for a long time, Azazel was actually my favorite character to play as. Like, I'm not throwing shade at Azazel as a character, I'm just kind of trying to lay out a defense for, like, why I get agitated when people say, you know, that Azazel runs are too easy. Because I actually think in some situations they're more challenging, and in this particular situation, it's a lot more frustrating, albeit unintentionally. That being said, I am doing very good on consumables. I'm not complaining. Like, I don't want it to sound like I'm complaining about this run, because things are actually going pretty well for me overall. You know, I don't have huge complaints about the run. I just wish that we were, you know, maybe able to see some of the, like, real effects of the items that I'm picking up, especially since I'm picking them up for the first time in this run. But I got Gemini, which is pretty cool. Conjoined friend. Sacred Heart is cool. Bait and switch I've been wanting to play with, and I'm not really getting the opportunity here. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Cube of Meat, obviously, fun item. I really like Book of Revelations has appeared in the basement. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm also, you may have noticed from the shock, just like utter shock in my voice when I picked it up, but I was really surprised to get a deal with the angel as Azazel. I did not know you could do that, and I did not think it was likely. A lot of times, you know, if I make a deal with the devil, if I get to a deal with the devil and I turn it up, I'm kind of, you know, pissed if I don't get a deal with the angel, because I was expecting it and hoping for it and yada yada. But with Azazel, I really didn't expect it to happen, and then it just showed up. That was my first deal with the angel on this file. So that was interesting. Sometimes I'll try to get those deals and they're just nowhere to be found, and here... Oh, but we're done, apparently. No more deal with the angel for me. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about, I'll stop monologuing about angel deals for just a second. I should have blown up I always forget to blow up the shopkeeper to increase my chances. But anyway, one thing that I wanted to talk about, I picked up Humbling Bundle, which, you know, obviously the earlier you get it, the better of an item it is. But I really appreciate that I picked it up at all. It's gonna make me super rich in this room. I wish to, I was gonna say God. I wish to the Lamb, notice how I went full evil there, that I had a donation machine here. But, possibly, especially with Humbling Bundle, I think we have a chance to unlock Cain. I think it's 55 cents to unlock Cain, so we're only 15 cents away. I don't remember exactly where I was at. 40. Yeah, so we're getting up there. I remember in Vanilla Isaac just like how absurd it seemed when I started playing that I was ever gonna be able to unlock a character who cost 50 cents. Was this room worth it? Probably not. But here's the thing, is that with with rooms like this, I'm never... because I'm sure you've noticed, I've got Curse of the Lost, Curse of the... whatever takes my map away. I think that is Curse of the Lost. And on floors like this, I'm never going to go back and explore. I'm going to make sure that I find my item room. In some rare occasions, I'll try to make sure that I find the shop as well. And then, like, once I get to the boss, that's just it for the fucking round. Like, I don't like navigating through these floors. Here's my, my sitcom reference of the day. I'll allow myself one a day. And today's is, I think I have Cheaty's directional blindness, directional madness, insanity. My one reference of the day, I can't even make it. Reminder to myself to watch Good Place again. But no, I'm really terrible with directions, and this curse, I know it's not the most dangerous curse. Curse of the Blind can be really detrimental, and Curse of the Unknown is, like, absolutely, it can fuck you up completely. What is up with this guy? I don't think I'd ever seen one like that before. Is my game just glitching out? Is that what's happening today? I've got to stop, like, standing in front of damage. But yeah, pretty much, what I'm trying to get at here is, I'm bad with curses. I really cannot wait for Black Candle to show up. I try to pick up Black Candle whenever possible. I know a lot of them are supposed to be just kind of, like, not super big deals, the curses, but they can fuck me up. And that's like 3 out of 4 of them that just will completely ruin a run for me if I'm not careful. Plus there's like the mental component, you know, they get you off your game and then you're like second guessing yourself and the whole thing is just bad. Notice I've taken more damage on this floor than like any other. I kind of don't even at this point want to go look for my item room, but I'm not doing so well, so if I could get something, I know this is a lot to ask for, but if I could get a health upgrade out of that room, or out of this, Lemon Party, damn it, used it in a room where it really doesn't do me any good. Oh, and of course, I got a mini boss, but it means I'm gonna unlock Cain, I think? Yeah, unlocked Cain. Which means that when I crash and burn this run, which seems to be what I'm aiming for, the good news is that I will already have unlocked a character. So we've done something productive today, even if / when I don't win this run. Because I'm not feeling very confident right now. I'm bleeding damage, all over the place. I'm just, like, coughing it up. Not even in smart ways, it's just, I'm not taking strategic damage, this is just, it's a nightmare. And I can't seem to find my, item room. Also, I feel like my charge shots are taking a really, really long time. I keep, like, kind of messing that up. Do I want to go in here? No. Am I going to go in here? Absolutely. Whoop. Okay. That was a bad call. Yeah, I really don't love the situation that I'm in. I'm kind of in a place where I just want to, like, go blow up all those skulls, just to see if maybe I can get, like, another black heart before I have to go into the boss battle. It feels very min-maxy, and I don't want to make you, watch me do that, but also, like, I'm stressed for myself. I didn't mean to do that. I actually meant to pick up that big hill, but it is what it is. It's been used now. We can't take it back. And, it actually could have helped in a run where I'm doing very poorly. I think it really could have helped me to have that lover's card, but too bad, I guess. The good news, I am doing good on consumables. The bad news, I'm doing bad on my damage is actually also really good, which is unsurprising for Brimstone. Data miner. I got data miner. Huh. It's, and I just lost my other revenge heart on, a stationary fire. What is this? Lazy worm. I don't know what this does. I feel like I'm gonna regret taking it with me. Like I said in my last episode, the only worm trinket that I typically will pick up is flatworm, but this is a new one, so we're gonna try it out. Really, I was really just hoping beyond hope that that was gonna... What does... Oh. I don't know what I thought data miner did, but that was surprising. Oh geez, we're gonna have a problem. Oh my god, that did a full heart of damage. Jeez. Yeah, I'm getting anxious. Damage plus range up. Is my range actually going up? I feel like it might not be a ton. Usually I don't worry about half a red heart, but I really just, I'm not feeling confident in this run, guys. Can you tell? Can you tell that I'm anxious? My commentary is going downhill, my playstyle is getting very erratic, even for me, which is saying something, because my playstyle starts erratic, so this is just a goddamn nightmare. I'm gonna have a sip of my coffee. That'll make me less jittery. It's coffee. But yeah, we're gonna try this. Oh, and the bomb, like, I hate dealing with the bomb flies as Azazel. That's obviously, very annoying. I kind of want to just, like, keep using data miner on every room that I can to see if it has, like, the potential for a useful effect. I'm afraid to use it on enemies, though, because I feel like if I don't know what's happening, I'm going to blow myself up. Oh! Can I maybe, like, data mine this area? Perhaps? Will it do something useful? Oh, no, it did something worse. What the fuck is going on? I do not understand this item at all. And I lost my spirit heart being an idiot playing around with my spacebar item, trying to figure out what it does. No more spikes. Oh, I should maybe get rid of this, because I already, spikes are not, like, a super big deal to me, as it happens. Of course, I still don't know what, Lazy Worm does, so really this whole situation... Is one the one that just, like, re-rolls your entire run? Here's the thing. I don't think my run is bad enough that I need it entirely re-rolled. Do I kind of want to do it anyway, just to see if that's really what it does? Yes. It's also, it sounds kind of like the most fun option, and I might regret it if I don't do it. We're gonna do it. Mom's contact has appeared in the basement. Oh, and it did. It got, it gave me new items that are worse. Oh my god, so much worse. So yeah, something in there 1,000%. Like, just absolutely, was helping me out with range, because I don't know if you've noticed, my new, brimstone range is terrible. I could just stay here and spam the blood banks for a while. I kind of want to. I'm torn, because I know it's not fun to watch, but you do get items for doing it. It's eventually going to have to happen. I might have just, like, in one floor, absolutely ruined this run for myself, because this is... I've got, like, Holy Candle, I've got an explosive fly buddy, I've got Robo Baby. Robo Baby can solve everything, right? Yeah, I can't gamble anymore, I'm gonna go crazy. Thank you for that. But, yeah, we're gonna do it that way. I could blow up all the things, but I'm not going to. This is bad. This is a bad situation. I've taken a mediocre situation and made it much, much, much worse. This run is going very poorly, and I have to make it an unfortunate, way on it. Oh, but what? A buddy in a box is repaired in the basement. Do I have some kind of, what is going on? My rage must be building. Oh! And I've got Lost Fly. That's kind of cool, right? School bag has appeared in the basement. Super greed. Oh god, I keep forgetting my range is so bad. Whew. Oh. But, yeah, rage is building. Let's... Fuck. This is terrible. Everything about this is just, it's kind of funny. It'd be a lot funnier if I didn't have to play all the way through to Mom's Heart. It would be very funny if my first Mom's Heart fight, assuming I make it that far, because there's a real chance that I won't, after what I've done, I would not be at all surprised if I failed before then. But I do think it would be very funny and upsetting if my first Mom's Heart fight were like this. Because there's no way I'm coming through. This is bad. Everything about this is just really bad for me. I'm stressed. I don't like playing this run. I don't know who let me step on the dumb don't step on this square. No, I can't be mad because sometimes re-rolling my run has gone tremendously well for me, but that was it. That was maybe the worst Azazel run I've ever seen in my entire life, and I'm so glad that you guys were here for it. Thank you so much for joining me in the second episode, and I hope to see you in the next episode for my first Lazarus run on the account. Bye everybody, thanks!